I didn't select because of the photographer's name or because of a specific subject. I didn't know, because when I opened these archives boxes, I just had prints in my hands. So I could just appreciate the strength of the photograph, of the print. So I didn't know who the photographers were. And my selection is of course subjective, because the archives, it's 8 million images altogether, not only in New York but in the other countries. Condé Nast has, studios in London, Paris, Milan, and many different countries. So I didn't see all of these 8 million images, but my selection was about images that struck me, that for me were very powerful as photographs. Not just about description of a fashion, but really as image making. How these photographers were able to produce a very appealing image. Because fashion photography is always the same idea. It's showing a fashion, beautiful bodies, beautiful people, trying to attract the reader. So it's very difficult to produce interesting images when you know that so many other images were produced. And every month, every week, people work in that business and produce new images. So how can you make a new interesting image? So I think the images you see in the exhibition is an interesting selection of the creativity that these photographers have in that time. Well, the exhibition starts in the 1920s and then goes chronological, because this is also how the archives are sorted. It's sorted by publication date. And I wanted to keep the order chronological because it will give also the visitors a good way to discover about history of photography, but also history of representation of women, because the woman represented in the 1920s, it's not the woman represented in the 1950s or in the 1970s. So the idea we have of what should be beauty or glamour, or what means to be a woman in 1955 or in 2010, it's a different idea. And I think the show also gives some comments about that. Hello, I'm Nathalie Herschdorfer. I'm the curator of the Coming Into Fashion exhibition, currently shown at the Museo in Monterey.